Hi, what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how to bring the data from panel data from the Excel as well as the time series data from the Excel into the EViews and into the STATA software. So stay tuned. Okay, with me here I have time series data set for Albania. Let's say I have 14 number of items or 14 lists for Albania. Of course, this is just for for exercise, but in real case for time series analysis it should be more than 30, then the analysis will be good. But for instance, for this I just take example of 14 lines, 15 lines including the header. So I have the time series data for Albania from 2004 to 2017 and the data called as GDP. And I also have another set of data whereby it is actually panel data. How do I know it is a panel data? Because I have many countries here. I have different countries, and for each and every countries, for instance here I have American Samoa from 2004 until 2017, and I also have Armenia from the same years 2004 to 2017, and so on for the rest of the countries. And if you look at this data set, there are certain data which have missing value. Don't worry, because I will show you in the next video how to treat with this missing value. Okay, so now my main concern is how to bring this data set into STATA and into EViews. Okay, let's start with the time series data first. When you download STATA, or you download EViews, you will get something like this. This is the EViews and this is the STATA, right? So let's start with the EViews first. You just double click the EViews when you download it. I'm using EViews 10 here. Okay, so of course I want to create a new work file. Just click the new work file, and in the EViews they give you three choices here. Either the work file type is unstructured or undated. This one is on the cross section in which you don't have any date, any year, and you have the dated, regular frequency, or panel balance panel. If you are using time series, you choose the second one, and if you are using the panel data, you choose the third one. So in this case, I'm start with the time series, choose the second one, and my data is in annual basis, and my start date is 2004 until 2017, right? Then just click OK. When you click OK, you have something like this, right? You get something like this. So let me bring it open. Now, they give you one command here. Okay, so what I want to bring here is actually my data called as time series data called as GDP. Okay, only for Albania. So I only have GDP value. Therefore, you go back to your EViews under the command. You type data and GDP. So what I'm typing here right now is I want to create a data, and my data name is GDP. If you have many variables, let's say you have a y, x1, x2, x3, and you want to bring the data into the time series data into EViews, what you can do is data y, x1, x2, x3. So it will bring you to one screen whereby you can paste your data on y, x1, x2, and x3. So in my case, I only have one variable called as GDP. So the first command is data and GDP. Then you click enter. Okay, once you click enter, they will give you this value, GDP value. So you have to bring the GDP here. So what you should do is you go back to your Excel and you copy all the GDP value, copy. And then you go back to your EViews, paste it here, paste. Okay, automatically it will bring you, or they will save you. So just click close. When you click close, okay, just close. Why you can't close? Okay, fine. Automatically you will get this screen showing your data, and you can close this. Yes, and then here you have three variables here. One is C is constant, GDP is your GDP data, and receipt is just residual, right? And the range of this data comprise of 2004 to 2017, and we have 14 observations altogether. So this is how we bring the data from Excel into EViews, okay, in terms of time series data. Okay, let's look at how we bring the same data, the time series data, into the STATA. So if you install STATA, you will get this this installer, and you just double click that STATA MP. I'm using STATA version 14, so I don't want to update anything. Right, so this is STATA, right? Let me make it bigger. All right, so here, if you want to bring the data from Excel into STATA, what you have to do is you just go to this one, data editor. We have one button here called as data editor. Just click data editor and it will bring you to this. So what you have to do is you have to go to your data, the data that you have before this, and the time series data. You copy everything, including the countries and the year, copy, and then you go back to your STATA data editor, paste here. Okay, and they ask you the first row is this one. The first row on the clipboard contains values that can be used as valid variable name. Of course, my first row is my variable name. So if your first row is the data, you click data. But in my case, my first row, the row 1 is actually my variable name. Therefore, I click variable names. Okay, and if you look here, when you put the data in STATA, if the colors of the inputs are all black, it means that STATA able to read these colors. But now STATA is unable to read countries. Why? Because countries is not text. Sorry, countries is not number. Okay, but don't worry, we will fix this after this. Okay, so you just, once you've done this, you just click X. Okay, close this. Once you close, you go back to your STATA, and you see here, these are the variables names. We have countries, we have years, and we also have GDP. And if you want to look back, check back at the this one, the data, you go back to data editor. This one is if you want to edit. This one is if you want to browse, just want to look at it. So I just want to look at it, then I have to click this data editor, browse, and you have these 3 data set. But of course, we have problem here in countries because the countries are in red. So we have to change this red color into black color. How to do it? We will let STATA to understand that these countries are actually the countries' names, yeah, or the cross section. Okay, now we want to let STATA know that the year is actually the year, okay, and the countries are actually the countries. Now what STATA believe is actually, they believe all of these are variables because you don't let them know actually. So we have to let STATA know. What to do is you go to up here, we have statistics, right? You have statistics, and then you go to time series because this is a time series data. Under time series, we go to setup and utilities, and we declare the data set to be time series data. Okay, we declare to be time series data. So the time variable, time is what is the year or what is the month. So my time variable here will be the year. So you click this, choose the year, and panel ID variable. Panel ID is the cross section. This is just optional. Yeah. So my panel ID is the countries. So I can put as country, but because STATA don't believe countries to be country, because the countries that we have here is actually in text form. So don't worry about that too much. And the time unit and display format for the time variable. So my time unit will be in yearly because it's actually the year, right? Okay, so you just click OK. Okay, so automatically the time here is actually from 2004 to 2017, and the name of the time is called as yearly. Okay, this is how we bring the time series data into STATA, right? So same goes to the panel data setting. In next video, I will show you on how to bring the panel data into STATA and EViews. Stay tuned.